And the first band I've got up and stuff for this special episode of the main show, if you want to call it, I've got Severance. How you guys doing?
Hello.
Yeah,
Doing good, thanks.
Beer.
Would you guys like to do a quick little introduction down the line and stuff like that of your names and stuff like that so people can get acquainted with yourselves?
That's easy. I am Klaus. I do the angry mouth noises for the bands.
KJ, I play guitar and write guitar. Yeah.
Right guitar?
Right guitars.
He left guitar.
Yeah.
I'm Tyler, I'm the other guitar. Don't write the guitars.
Take a shot every time you hear the word guitar.
I'm Molly, I play the bass guitar.
Oi.
I'm Chris, as usual, I'm at the back, I play the drums.
I've got to say, I love that commitment to the bit. That was brilliant. That was absolutely excellent. Oh, I'm going to love that in editing, I know I am. I'm laughing right now and stuff. But Bailey, go to sleep. I know you're editing this at 4 a.m. But anyway, and stuff, yeah, like tell us and stuff like that a bit and stuff. We've obviously done a little introduction for you guys and stuff. Tell us a bit about sort of who you guys are and stuff like that, what sort of style of music you do, and yeah, just tell us a little bit about yourselves.
I'm drinking beer, someone else.
Well, I'm at the back, but I don't normally get to speak, so I'll come.
Time to shine.
I'm going to break through here. So, I think the easiest way of describing our genre or style of music is if you've ever played any kind of Soulsbourne game and wanted to rage quit, throw a controller through a wall, or just in general play Soulsbourne games, our music is based around those kind of games.
The lore of
the games. That's kind of our genre in let's say deathcore-y.
I'd say it's like groove deathcore.
Yeah.
It's like deathcore with riffs.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Funky deathcore.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't always like the Soulsbourne thing. Like I think we started. I said we. Yeah, I guess it was. It was just like it was just us. We started Severance like pre-COVID, during COVID. So like in the bedroom, I was learning vocals at the time, and I was like, I can make this noise. Write me a riff, and it was just like I don't even remember what we were writing about. Just anything that came together. It like
angry stuff.
yeah. If the word rhymed, it went. And then, yeah, when the world started becoming habitable again, we were like, yeah, let's actually make it into a band. I think I was playing Elden Ring at the time, and I thought, I'm going to rip off so much lore here for lyrics. And then, yeah, we released our first song that had those lore implications, and since then it was just like, this works, we're going to make this a thing, and we're just going to pretend like every other song before that never existed.
It's kind of like our songs at the moment now, like the ones we're writing, are like kind of it follows its own story.
Yeah.
It's like a cool concept. Isn't it?
Yeah, which is, I think the hardest part about that is keeping it consistent, because like, as I'm sure any musician that you will ever interview, they'll tell you that like, they'll just start writing songs when they're out and about, they'll have like a groove in their head and they'll put like this word with that word to make it rhyme, and then I'll message these guys, but I've got this cool song, I'll get a message of him just being like, how does this fit into the law? I don't know yet. It's just sounding good.
You know what I'm imagining in my head as well, like you were saying about getting ideas in random places. I just really want you guys to sort of be like, oh, one of us was in Tesco, we saw a meal deal, and then a song came from that. I just want to think the most randomest thing of like out and about, you're like, let's do deathcore about sandwiches or something.
Honestly, when I saw the increase of the meal deal, I very nearly on the phone to these guys, it's like, boys, you never guess what.
I guess you could say you hope that it was a human error from someone on the till. It is. I am too proud of that joke. Thanks for making a much better joke while I'm making my joke. I appreciate that. But yeah, sort of speaking about Soulsbourne stuff and all of that, that's really cool. Obviously, it's become quite relevant now. Sort of Soulsbourne games, like for a while, it was kind of felt like it was a very niche thing, but with Elden Ring, it blew up. Like everyone's talking about it and stuff. And it's so cool that you guys were so inspired and stuff like that by those sort of games. Whatever. Like, what is your sort of history and stuff like? Are all of you guys into it? And what's your history with the series and stuff?
I play games on easy.
My guy.
Translation: he's never played one.
I have, but I've given up on all of it.
I think, to be fair, I think the first person that did it was you. You were the first person who was playing Souls games, like way back when, and then you stopped because it was too hard, and then I picked it up. Yeah, and I picked it up, and I remember my first Souls game was Dark Souls 3. I kept on dying to the tutorial boss. I snapped the disc, I was like, I'm never playing this again! About a week later, I was like, I will beat it. So I bought it again, and it just all went from there.
Yeah, you're like a Souls master now. Like,
Yeah,
so,
I think you two are more into Souls than the rest of us, but I remember I did break at least one controller playing 3.
It's horrible.
So I've played a lot of Elden Ring, got to a certain point, Captain dying to the sodding fire giant and went, haven't gone back to it yet.
Get good.
Just on sabbatical, that's what it is.
I'm on a small break.
I'm now just thinking of like, I've got my own trauma now from playing the game. Because I've only played the first one, and it took me so long to even figure out what was going on, and I never went back to it, and I'm like, that's why I'm scared to play Elden Ring. Because I'm like, I'm not spending 60 quid on this game that I will get about 2 minutes in and then I'm done. So.
What you need is like a friend to take you through it, like just once, and then you'll love it, and then you'll play it like 20 times. Like we've done like what, 6 run-throughs?
Yeah, I think we're at the point now, we're just speedrunning it. Yeah, it's great, and each time we play it, it's like, let's make a really cool song. And it's funny because like, so we've known each other for absolutely years, and we've always thought like, if we were ever in a band, we thought like, we never take it seriously, it would just be about like inside jokes and whatnot. And now we're here, we're like, yeah, we probably shouldn't do that.
we went to like a shopping centre, like when we were like, what, 18?
Something like that,
and we were just playing
10 years
guitar,
later.
like trying to be cool kids, and this...
We're still trying.
Yeah. This caretaker came up and he was like, oh, you guys like playing anywhere, like any festivals? And we said like, oh yeah, we played a Download Festival. Obviously we weren't.
Obviously.
That's a lie, you just made it.
Yeah.
But now, like, we're so close to playing Bloodstock. You know, like, it could be like a...
Yeah, you guys are in the Metal of the Masses, isn't it? I think it's the Southampton finals.
In the final, yeah.
It's crazy, man. It's so exciting.
That was such a mental time. Like when I think Tyler was saying downstairs that like we didn't. Not to sound like arseholes, we never really took it that seriously. It was if we win, we win. If we don't, we don't. And then they said our name, we were just like
not getting your hopes up, really.
Yeah.
Didn't know what we were up against.
That's it.
Somehow we're in the finals now. We're all going,
Yeah.
for God's sake, that means we might actually have to play Bloodstock. I think me and Tyler are both thinking, great, now we're going to have to try and book it off. Oh, for God's sake.
We need to drive there now.
That's not the worst part about being like, well, I say being in a band, but like when you want to like take your band seriously, that's not really also the worst part. You don't really think about details like booking time off work, how you're going to drive there, and what I'm basically saying is I hate being an adult.
Yeah.
I wasted so much time as a baby, like not doing anything when I should have been out buying land. Like,
I don't know where to take this from here.
We've got a tangent.
yeah.
Speaking of Bloodstock, speaking of doing live gigs and stuff like that, obviously this is joining me at the festival and stuff. I'm going to keep doing that every time I say it, apparently. But
Have a zoom in on your face.
we did make it all like 3D and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like they tried to do it.
Each time you say it, it's like a you know, in Microsoft PowerPoint, the different transitions every time.
And the worst part is that you knew that was the only part like you were really proud of and cared. That's the only thing that had detail. The rest of it was just like black text on white background, but you had those scrumple up transitions. You had all of it. Why did I fail my A levels again? Oh yeah, that's right. But speaking of live shows and stuff like that, for your style of music, live it's a big part of it, isn't it? Definitely. Tell us about sort of like what it's like and stuff like that, performing on stage and stuff like that, and what it means to your kind of style of music, that deathcore style and stuff like that.
Warm.
Yeah.
Very warm.
It's hot. Even if we're in the middle of winter and it's -5 degrees outside, we will all come off stage drenched in sweat.
Yeah, it's so good because it's like corny ass answer, like, but it's like obviously we're like writing these riffs and we're like, yeah, this is quite groovy, but when we see like we're still very much like I don't want to say amateur, but like
We're still like fresh.
Yeah, like we're very new to the game, so like we still very much like tread on our own eggshells. So when we see people grooving and vibing to what we write, we're like, maybe what we did wasn't half bad.
The semi-final for Metal to the Masses, Blighttown, first time playing it. We get second note into the song, whole crowd was going.
We wrote that song
And
for
Jesus, give me chills.
competition as well.
Yeah.
Oh, for a sec. Wait a minute. For a sec, I thought you were going to play the song and everyone left. When you saying go,
No.
Sea of people.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
Sick. But yeah, no, they won't make it to the door.
it was a pit, not an exit.
Yeah, that's it. It's like that was the first time we ever played that song live, and funnily enough, this was the second. Both had good reactions, but yeah, like when you write a song for the first time and you're very much like, oh, how is this going to go? And then when you see people moving,
The greatest feeling in the world when you see someone like moving so hard to a song you wrote, it really gets you here, and it makes you
absolutely.
really get into it.
The thing is, because we can rehearse it a million times, go into our little practice room and do what we do, and we'll think it sounds great because we wrote it. It's going to sound great. Of course, it sounds great. It's going to sound great in our ears, but you don't know how people are going to react to it.
We have a song called Black Blood, and the end of that song is very like call and response sort of thing. And when I see people screaming out Black Blood, or when they scream out any sort of lyric, if I see people like doing that, I'm like, oh, that's mad. Like, I just wrote that because for bands, and now you're.
And it must be cool as well because like there is always that fear of like, I know from this podcast stuff, I don't speak about it sort of much whatever, but there's always that feeling of, are people going to care about what you're making? There's that imposter syndrome feel. So it must be nice when you literally get those responses about people are vibing, they're pitting and everything. It must be like that kind of validation thing of, oh, this is so worth it, like 100%.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think that was the Masses like really hammered it into us. Like before that, I think we only had like 5 gigs, and it kind of like we were always on lineups that like weren't like without sound. So like we were always the heaviest. People weren't really into that sort of heavy music. But we get to Southampton and we're like obviously like a bit scared.
So you would be. At the start of any show, it's just nerves, isn't it?
Oh man, I always get so nervous. I'm like, oh guys, I feel so sick. We saw like that was the best crowd participation we've like ever seen. Obviously, we haven't done many shows, so we don't really know like how it can go. But we did that, and we literally went from kind of like I guess like amateur local band to like, okay, we actually really want to be professional.
I think that was definitely the moment of like, we've seen what we can do. This needs to be the standard now.
But we wouldn't be able to do all of this without Chris.
Yeah.
Get yourself a Chris.
I tried to get myself a Chris once at Asda, but they said they were sold out.
Yeah, we are quite in limited stock actually.
Oh, don't say that. You'll end up becoming a collectible soon. Selling for £20,000 by some rich guy who doesn't care about it. But anyway.
I hear they have them at Tesco, but the price keeps going up.
Just like the meal deals.
See? It goes back. But anyway and stuff, all jokes aside and stuff, it's been great having you guys on the show and stuff like that. You guys, I saw your set earlier and stuff like that. Amazing, absolutely amazing. I saw Human Error and stuff. I made the joke to it earlier. Your performance of that, fantastic. Honestly, that's like, it was really, really fantastic. And if you guys can go check these guys out, you definitely should. And so you can catch them at a festival and stuff like that. Speaking of festivals or just one of their live shows, you guys should definitely go check them out.